Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kim Lewanson filling in for Stella, and on today's Fix of Gaming news, a new Black Panther video game has been announced. Some job listings suggest a Jedi Survivor sequel is already in the works. Plus, Baldurs Gate 3 lets you get intimate with a bear, sort of. Plus, a whole lot more in today's Fix. Let's drop it. EA has officially announced a new Black Panther video game is being developed by the newly founded Cliffhanger Studios. Now, the game is going to be a third-person single-player action adventure. Now, we don't know when it'll be released or what platforms it's intended for. Now, the project is being led by Kevin Stevens, who was studio head at Monolith during the development of Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War. Stevens stated, quote, "We're dedicated to delivering fans a definitive and authentic Black Panther experience, giving them more agency and control over their narrative than they have ever experienced in a story-driven video game. Wakanda is a rich superhero sandbox, and our mission is to develop an epic world for players who love Black Panther and want to explore the world of Wakanda as much as we do." If you read between the PR speak there, the key takeaways are that it sounds like it'll take place primarily, if not entirely, in Wakanda. No word on it being open world, but the term sandbox certainly suggests as much. Stressing the player's control over the story sounds like there'll be a branching narrative. Now, maybe Black Panther will have something similar to Shadow of Mordor's revolutionary nemesis system, where random orc enemies would basically hold a grudge against the player. Now, that specific technology is patented by WB Interactive Entertainment, but it'd be cool to see something along those lines. Now, this is the second game announced from EA's multi-game partnership with Marvel Games. Now, there's also the Iron Man game being developed by EA's Motive Studio. Now, this is also the second AAA video game in development that will involve Black Panther, or at least a Black Panther. Now, there's also Skydance New Media's Untitled game that'll have one of Wakanda's protectors working alongside Captain America. In other news about EA-published video games based on Disney-owned intellectual property, some job postings suggest the third entry in the Star Wars Jedi series is already in development at Respawn Entertainment. Now, found on EA's job listing portal, one position is for a senior VFX artist to work on Star Wars Jedi, which is pretty cut and dry. Now, one interesting detail is that experience with Unreal Engine 5 is a big plus, which suggests this is a whole new video game, rather than just a DLC, since Jedi Survivor was developed in Unreal Engine 4. Now, the other job listing is for a senior combat designer on the more vague Star Wars team at Respawn's LA studio. Now, this could very well be a third Jedi game, or it could be for Respawn's Star Wars FPS that EA announced was in the works back in March. In an IGN Unfiltered interview, Star Wars Jedi Survivor's director said he thought of these games as a trilogy. Now, that was by no means an official announcement, but considering Fallen Order sold well above expectations and its sequel sold even better, it's not at all surprising that a third one would be in the works. Now, I'm not sure how to segue from that particular story to our next one, but I want y'all to bear with me. This one gets a little grisly. The Baldurs Gate 3 will feature romance options with NPC companions. Yeah, one of these companions, though, is a druid. Druids, if you're unfamiliar, can transform into animals. And you can probably see where this is going. Now, during a Panel from Hell live stream this weekend, that's what it's actually called, Panel from Hell, Baldur's Gate 3 developer Larian revealed a scene from the game wherein the player character has a steamy encounter with the fan-favorite druid companion, while they use the magical wild shape ability to transform into a bear. Yes, don't bother. Not that type of bear, but a bear. That's a silly old bear. Anyways, for everybody clutching their pearls about this being obscene or a gateway into bestiality, I want y'all to bear in mind, sorry I had to, that it's clearly being played up for laughs. Now, the cutaway to a squirrel being so shocked it dropped its acorn should have been a dead giveaway on that particular front. Now, that said, the stream proved to be a little too spicy for TikTok, which pulled the stream offline before it was even over, before there was a climax. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Anyways, Baldur's Gate 3 lead writer had the following to say, quote, "Have you ever considered the joys and pleasures of sexual congress with a wild-shaped druid? Because at Larian, we have, and ultimately landed on the side of giving the people what they want. tender, consensual romance with a man temporarily transformed into a grizzly bear. Anyways, just got hot and bothered here. Now, if that's not what you're into, don't worry. The long-awaited Dungeons & Dragons RPG is aiming to capture the freedom of pen and paper role-playing, which, depending on who you're playing with, can get pretty weird. Now, if you want to keep things platonic with your druid pal, or, more vanilla, well, that's your call. Baldurs Gate 3 is out for PC August 3rd, on PS5 September 6th, and coming to Xbox Series X and S as soon as they sort out some issues with split-screen co-op. And finally, if you're worried you don't have time for a side druid in Baldurs Gate 3, which you probably should, it's gonna get sexual. Anyways, because you're too busy maining one in Diablo 4, well, Blizzard has officially announced that it's okay to take a break. During a recent live stream, Diablo 4's associate game director offered the sage advice, quote, "When you've reached all the goals and done the things you think are important and you want to go take a break to play something else for a little while, that's fine." Now, considering the addictive nature of some of Blizzard's games, they probably should have put this tip on loading screens, like when Nintendo told Wii players to take a break. Now, in other news, the official serving size of potato chips is 18 individual chips, and beer should be enjoyed responsibly. Yeah. And on that note, it's time for me to take a break. Now, if you want the latest entertainment news, I got you covered over on today's Entertainment Fix. And for everything gaming, make sure you follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.